Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how when you're in a bad mood, everything around you seems to go wrong? Traffic feels worse, people irritate you faster, and suddenly the day just spirals downhill. Now flip it. When you wake up excited, grateful, and clear on what you want, opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. That's not coincidence. That's the law of attraction in action. The power of your thoughts is the single most underestimated force in your life. Every single thing you experience, your successes, your failures, your relationships, even your sense of self, is shaped first by what's happening in your mind. Most people don't even realize it, but the story they repeat inside their head becomes the blueprint of their reality. Think about it. If you wake up in the morning and the first thought that hits you is, I'm tired, I don't have what it takes, today's gonna be rough, what do you think happens? You move through the day dragging your feet. You hesitate. You miss opportunities because your brain is wired to look for everything that matches that thought. Negativity, problems, and excuses. You've already primed your mind to fail before you've even taken your first step out the door. Now, flip the script. Imagine waking up with a thought like, I've got this. Today is another chance to grow. I'm capable and I'm ready. That thought alone starts pulling your attention toward possibilities. It energizes your body. You notice things you wouldn't have noticed before. You start to act in alignment with that belief. And guess what? The world responds. Opportunities you might have missed suddenly feel obvious. People sense your confidence. You step into situations differently. That is not luck. That is not magic. That is the law of attraction responding to the thoughts you choose. Here's the truth: your mind doesn't care if the story you're telling yourself is good or bad, empowering or destructive. It just takes the input and runs with it. If you keep repeating, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, life is unfair, your brain will filter everything you see, hear, and feel to match that reality. On the other hand, if you start feeding it thoughts like, I'm capable, I'm worthy, things are working in my favor, your brain gets to work finding evidence to prove you right. It's like planting seeds. You can't plant weeds and expect roses to grow. If you fill your mind with thoughts of scarcity, fear, and doubt, your life reflects that. If you plant seeds of abundance, courage, and possibility, you eventually harvest results that match. The law of attraction is simply the echo of your most consistent thoughts showing up in your life. And I know what you might be thinking. So you're saying if I just think positive, my life magically changes. No, that's not it. Thoughts alone don't replace action. But they do something even more important. They set the stage for action. They shift your energy. They create momentum. They give you the courage to take the next step. Without the right thoughts, action never gets off the ground. With the right thoughts, action feels inevitable. This is why so many people stay stuck. They want change, but they keep rehearsing the same old doubts, the same old fears. They want success, but their inner dialogue is full of reasons why they'll never get it. And so, their life matches exactly what they've been thinking all along. If you take just one thing from this, let it be this: your thoughts are not random. They're not harmless, they are instructions. They are signals. And the universe, the people around you, even your own subconscious mind, are responding to those instructions every single day. So here's the challenge: pay attention. Catch yourself in the act of negative thinking and flip it. Instead of, I can't, try, I'm learning. Instead of, I'll never say, I'm getting closer. Instead of, I'm not enough, repeat, I am worthy of more. It might feel awkward at first, but repetition rewires your brain. And once your thoughts begin to shift, your energy shifts. When your energy shifts, what you attract shifts. The power of your thoughts is real. It's shaping your life right now, whether you believe it or not. The only question is, are you letting your thoughts work against you? Or are you finally ready to make them work for you? Energy is everything. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you carry yourself It's all energy. And here's the part most people never realize: you are constantly broadcasting that energy out into the world. Every conversation, every decision, every interaction you have is either attracting more of what you want or more of what you don't want. Think about the last time you were around someone who was constantly negative. They complained, they blamed, they carried themselves like life was one big problem. How did it make you feel? Drained, heavy, like you want to get away. Now, compare that with being around someone who's optimistic, who smiles easily, who believes in possibility. You feel lighter, right? You feel energized. You feel like maybe things aren't so bad after all. That's energy alignment at work. Here's the truth: the universe, life, whatever you want to call it, doesn't just respond to your words or your wishes. It responds to the energy you're putting out. And energy comes from your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions working together. If you say you want success, but you walk around filled with fear and self-doubt, your energy is out of alignment. You're sending mixed signals, and mixed signals bring mixed results. But when your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are aligned, when you believe you can, when you feel excited, and when you act with intention, you create a frequency that draws in opportunities, people, and outcomes that match. That's why some people seem lucky. It's not luck, it's alignment. They've decided who they are, they've set their energy to match it, and the world reflects it back to them. Now here's where it gets practical. Energy isn't just about smiling all day or pretending everything is perfect. It's about checking in with yourself. Ask, what am I putting out right now? Am I putting out fear, doubt, and hesitation? Or am I putting out confidence, gratitude, and openness? Because what you project is what you attract. For example, if you're chasing a goal, but you're constantly stressed, angry, or desperate about it, that energy pushes it further away. You can't attract growth from a place of scarcity. But if you approach the same goal with curiosity, determination, and calm belief, suddenly doors open. People want to help you. Opportunities feel natural instead of forced. That's alignment. And here's the kicker: energy alignment is a choice. Every single morning, you wake up with the power to reset your frequency. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to do this. When you start your day by noticing what's good, even in the smallest ways, you shift your emotional state, and that shift raises your energy. When you feel good, you think better. When you think better, you act bolder. When you act bolder, life starts meeting you at that level. But the opposite is also true. If you wake up and dive straight into complaints, negativity, and fear, you drag your energy down before the day even begins. And once your energy is low, everything you attract matches that level. More stress, more conflict, more frustration. So let's get real. If you want to change your life, you can't just change what you do. You have to change the energy behind what you do. It's not enough to take action while doubting yourself. It's not enough to say the words without feeling them. The most powerful transformation happens when your belief, your emotions, and your behavior line up with the life you want. And here's the best part: you don't need anyone's permission to align your energy. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need to have it all figured out. All you need is the decision to stop broadcasting fear and start radiating possibility. The more consistently you hold that energy, the more your life shifts to match it. Energy alignment is not theory. It's not wishful thinking. It's a daily practice. And once you master it, you'll realize you've been carrying the key to attraction all along. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. Belief is the foundation of everything you will ever create. And doubt is the silent thief that robs people of their dreams before they even begin. Here's the harsh truth: the law of attraction doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you actually believe is possible. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but if deep down you don't believe them, nothing changes. Why? Because doubt cancels out desire. Doubt tells your brain, don't bother, this isn't real. And once your brain believes it's not real, it stops noticing opportunities. It stops motivating you to act. It stops aligning your energy with what you say you want. Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of something before you even tried? You wanted to apply for the job, but you told yourself you weren't qualified. You wanted to start the business, but you told yourself it would fail. You wanted to reach out, connect, take the risk, but you whispered, what if it doesn't work? That's doubt. And every time you let it win, you attract more hesitation, more fear, more regret. Belief works the opposite way. Belief says, what if it does work? Belief says, I don't know exactly how, but I know it's possible. And here's the magic. When you choose belief over doubt, your brain starts working with you instead of against you. You see chances instead of problems. You feel energized instead of defeated. You take action because belief pulls you forward, while doubt holds you back. Now, belief doesn't mean blind faith. It doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means deciding on purpose to trust in your ability to figure things out. It means leaning into possibility instead of shutting the door before it even opens. And that decision changes everything you attract. Here's an example. Imagine two people starting the same project. One believes, I'll figure this out. It might be hard, but I'm capable. The other says, I'll probably fail. This isn't for me. Same situation, completely different outcomes. The first person looks for solutions, learns from mistakes, and keeps moving forward. The second person looks for proof they're right, that it's too hard, that it won't work, and they quit. The only difference is belief. Belief is magnetic. It pulls resources, people, and opportunities into your orbit. When you believe, you act differently. You show up with confidence. You're more persuasive. People want to help you, invest in you, support you, not because of what you're doing, but because they can feel your certainty. On the other hand, when you doubt yourself, that hesitation leaks out in your words, your tone, your body language. And people sense it. They pull back. Opportunities slip away. This is why the law of attraction, it's not about wishing. It's about believing. Belief shifts your energy. Belief creates momentum. Belief says, this is mine, and then moves you to take the steps to claim it. Doubt, on the other hand, leaves you sitting on the sidelines watching your life pass by. But here's the good news, belief is a skill. You don't have to be born with it. You build it by proving to yourself that you can handle hard things. Every time you push past fear, every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you try and don't give up, your belief gets stronger. And the stronger it gets, the easier it is to silence doubt when it comes knocking. So ask yourself, what would you be doing right now if you believed you couldn't fail? Who would you be talking to? What risks would you be taking? What dreams would you stop delaying? That version of you already exists. The only thing standing between you and them is belief. The law of attraction isn't waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to decide. Decide to believe more than you doubt. Decide to trust yourself more than your fear. Because the second you shift into belief, the world starts shifting with you. The law of attraction is not about sitting around wishing for something to happen. It's not about vision boards collecting dust or repeating affirmations with no follow-through. Attraction without action is nothing but daydreaming. The real magic happens when you combine intention with action. When what you think, what you feel, and what you do are working together. Too many people misunderstand this. They think, if I just focus on what I want, it'll fall into my lap. No, that's not how it works. The law of attraction sets the stage, but it's your actions that bring the vision to life. You can't attract a healthy body while eating junk food every day. You can't attract success while procrastinating. You can't attract meaningful relationships while isolating yourself. You attract what you align with, and alignment requires movement. Here's the difference between random action and intentional action. Random action is doing a lot but getting nowhere. Working hard but scattered, reactive, unfocused. Intentional action is moving with clarity. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, consistently, with energy that matches your goals. Think of intention as the compass. Without it, you can be busy all day and still end up lost. With it, even the smallest step pulls you closer to where you want to go. When you act with intention, every choice, every effort, every risk carries power. You stop wasting energy. You start aligning your behavior with the outcome you're trying to attract. For example, let's say you want to start a business. You can spend weeks imagining success, but until you take intentional steps, research, planning, reaching out, launching, nothing happens. But when you combine your vision with focused action, the universe meets you halfway. People appear to guide you. Opportunities pop up. Doors open. Why? Because your actions signal that you're serious. You're not just talking about it, you're embodying it. And here's the key. Action with intention doesn't mean giant leaps every single day. It means consistent, aligned steps, even when they're small. Write the email, make the call, learn the skill, show up. Those little actions done with the right mindset compound into results that look like sudden success to everyone else. But it's not sudden. It's the law of attraction working hand in hand with your commitment. Now, let's talk about fear, because this is where most people stop. They wait until they feel confident. They wait until they know everything. They wait until the conditions are perfect. But confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. Waiting is how doubt wins. Moving forward, even with uncertainty, is how belief grows. Intentional action isn't reckless. It's not throwing yourself blindly into chaos. It's about asking, what's the next best step I can take with the resources I have right now? And then doing it. That one step builds momentum. Momentum creates clarity. Clarity attracts more opportunities. Here's what I want you to hear: the universe responds to effort. It responds to boldness. It responds to people who act as if their vision is already possible. You don't have to have the full plan. You don't need to know every answer. You just need to show up with intention and keep showing up. That consistency proves your belief. And when belief and action align, attraction becomes inevitable. So the challenge is simple: stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop telling yourself you'll begin when you feel ready. Decide. Choose the vision. Take one action today. Not random, not busy work, but intentional, purposeful action that aligns with who you want to become. Because here's the truth. Attraction without action is nothing. But action with intention, that's unstoppable. That's how you turn an idea into a reality, a dream into a goal, and a goal into a life you're proud of. Your perspective is the lens through which you see the world. And here's the thing most people forget. Your perspective isn't fixed. It's not some permanent setting you're stuck with. It's a choice. And the moment you shift your perspective, you change the entire story you're living. Two people can go through the exact same situation and walk away with two completely different experiences. One sees failure, rejection, and proof that they're not enough. The other sees lessons, growth, and evidence that they're getting closer. Same event, different perspective. And that difference doesn't just affect how they feel in the moment. It shapes what they attract moving forward. Because your perspective influences your thoughts. Your thoughts fuel your emotions. Your emotions drive your actions. And your actions create your reality. So when you shift perspective, you literally shift the direction of your entire life. Think about this. How many times have you told yourself a negative story on repeat? I'm unlucky. Nothing works out for me. People don't support me. Life is against me. That perspective puts you in a victim role. And when you live from that role, you attract situations that keep you stuck in it. You notice obstacles more than opportunities. You focus on problems instead of solutions. You attract people who reinforce your story. Now imagine flipping that script. Instead of life is against me, you start saying life is teaching me. Instead of I'm unlucky, you decide I'm learning resilience. Nobody supports me. You tell yourself, I'm strong enough to build my own foundation. Same circumstances, completely different energy. Suddenly you attract courage. You attract strength. You attract the very opportunities you couldn't see before. A perspective shift is powerful because it unlocks choice. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you interpret it. And that interpretation determines what you attract next. Do you attract more struggle or do you attract growth? Do you attract more scarcity or do you attract possibility? It all depends on the lens you choose. Let's be clear, this isn't about pretending bad things are good. It's not about denial. It's about refusing to hand your future over to a negative perspective. When something hard happens, you have two choices. You can say, this is proof I'll never succeed. Or you can say, this is part of my preparation for success. The first perspective shuts doors. The second one opens them. And here's the part most people underestimate. Your perspective is contagious. If you walk into a room seeing problems everywhere, people feel it. They mirror your negativity. If you walk into the same room with a perspective of possibility, people feel that too. They open up, they connect, they contribute. Your perspective doesn't just shift your world, it shifts the energy of the people around you. So how do you start shifting perspective? It begins with awareness. Catch the story you're telling yourself. Ask, is this perspective helping me attract what I want? Or is it holding me back? If it's holding you back, choose a different frame. Maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's curiosity, maybe it's courage. Whatever it is, choose the lens that aligns with the life you want, not the one that locks you into the life you don't. Every great transformation begins with a shift in perspective. Once you see yourself differently, once you see challenges differently, once you see possibility instead of limitation, everything changes. The law of attraction starts working in your favor because you're no longer sabotaging yourself with a narrow or negative lens. So here's the challenge. The next time you hit a wall, don't just ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? How can this push me forward? Because the moment you shift your perspective, you shift your energy. And when you shift your energy, you shift what you attract. The story you tell yourself becomes the life you live. Change the story, and you change everything.